Right now, someone is selling a $400 plastic Swatch for $2,000, and it is working. People are camping outside boutiques, queuing for hours for a watch that Swatch has already confirmed is not limited and will be available for months. Before you join that queue, or pay someone else's exit price, watch this video. 5 reasons to never buy the AP by Swatch Royal Pop. And 1 reason why you actually should. Reason number 5. It is not a royal oak. It is a royal oak-shaped plastic pocket watch. Let's start with what this thing actually is, because a lot of people are buying the name without reading the spec sheet. The Royal Pop is a bioceramic pocket watch, not a wristwatch, a pocket watch. It borrows the Royal Oak's octagonal bezel, the tapisserie dial pattern, the hex screws, and the vertical brushing. It wears those design cues well, but underneath the visual tribute is a Swatch product in a polymer case, 2/3 ceramic and 1/3 biosourced plastic derived from castor oil. You are meant to wear it around your neck, tuck it in a pocket, clip it to a bag, or sit it on a desk stand. Here is what the octagonal bezel never admits. You are not buying a piece of Royal Oak horology, you are buying a graphic art object in a Swatch case. AP's finishing, AP's in-house movements, AP's hand-beveled components, none of that is here. What is here is a bold, colorful Swatch with an AP silhouette on it. That is fine at $400. At $2,000 on the gray market, you are paying Royal Oak adjacency tax on a plastic pendant. The design borrows the crown. The engineering does not. But design is just the start of the problem. What is actually inside this watch is where things get genuinely uncomfortable. Reason number 4, the movement is a sealed, non-serviceable plastic assembly. The Royal Pop runs on a new hand-wound version of Swatch's System 51. Swatch will tell you it has 90 hours of power reserve, a Nivacron balance spring, and laser regulation. All of that is true. Here is what they will not tell you. The movement cannot be serviced. It was not designed to be opened. The bridges are welded, not screwed. The escapement uses plastic components. Hodinkie's original System 51 coverage noted explicitly that the movement is hermetically sealed and cannot be serviced later. Laser regulation replaces the traditional regulator precisely because no watchmaker will ever adjust it again. Independent teardowns are blunt. One detailed breakdown described the System 51 architecture as the worst mechanical watch movement examined. Not because it fails immediately, but because when it does fail, the answer is disposal. Reddit watchmaking threads are unanimous. Not serviceable, designed to be thrown away, planned obsolescence inside a collectible package. Here is what that means in practice. You are buying a watch that is, by design, a countdown to landfill. Every mechanical watch worth passing down can be serviced. A Seiko, a Hamilton, or a basic ETA-powered piece can be opened, cleaned, and kept running for decades by any competent watchmaker. The Royal Pop is not in that category. Paying $2,000 for something that cannot be repaired is not a watch purchase. It is a very expensive rental. The movement is sealed. So is the case for any long-term investment argument. Now here's the part that will age badly for everyone currently paying gray market prices. Because this pattern has a name, and we have seen it twice already. Reason number 3, Swatch hype curves always crash. Always. The Moon, Swatch launched in March 2022. Retail price, $260. Within days, secondary market listings hit $3,000, more than 10 times retail. Queues wrapped around Swatch boutiques in every major city. The frenzy was real. Here is what the hype machine left out. Within months, real transaction prices fell back sharply. By 2024, Watch Pro documented Moonswatch prices cratering as demand fell back to earth. Multiple colorways are now trading on eBay for under their original retail price. Brand new examples of some mission variants are selling below $290. Others are selling for less than $240. The Blancpain by Swatch Scuba 50 Fathoms followed the same arc. It launched at roughly €400 with the same bioceramic case and System 51 movement. Initial secondary market spike, then a slow drift back towards retail, Chrono 24 listings now cluster around 330 to 500 euros, barely above retail and in some cases under it. Every Swatch collab hype graph looks identical. A vertical spike at launch, then a long, slow slope back towards what the watch was always worth. The Royal Pop is currently at the top of that spike. The slide has already started. Market watchers tracking StockX and eBay report resale prices pulling back 6 to 7% from peak in the first week alone. You are not buying a rare watch. You are buying a spot near the top of a curve that only goes one direction from here. The history is documented. The pattern is repeatable. The outcome is predictable. Still think the scarcity is real? Let us talk about what Swatch themselves have actually said, because this is the detail most buyers are ignoring completely. Reason number 2, you are paying a flipper tax on a non-limited watch. Swatch's own website states the Royal Pop collection will remain available for several months. Esquire confirmed directly with the brand that the Royal Pop is, in their words, presently not limited in production or timing. AP has called it a one-off collaboration, meaning no sequel, but one-off refers to the partnership, not the unit count. The boutique rules create the illusion of scarcity. One per customer per day, in-store purchase only, no online sales at launch. That is a retail strategy, not a production ceiling. It creates queues. Queues create social media content. Social media content creates demand. Demand creates the gray market. The gray market creates a $2,000 price tag. And right now, that $2,000 price tag is being held up by one thing only: the gap between how many people want the watch today and how many Swatch boutiques have restocked it yet. That gap closes every single week. Here's what the queue outside the boutique never tells you. The watch you are paying $1,500 over retail to skip that queue for will be sitting in a display case, available, waiting, no premium required, within weeks or months. The only thing the gray market buyer receives for their extra $1,500 is slightly earlier delivery. Retail is $400. The gray market price is $1,500 to $2,000. The difference is impatience with a price tag on it. The scarcity is manufactured. The markup is not. And if that is not enough reason to walk away, consider what else that money could be doing for you right now. Reason number 1, the opportunity cost. At gray market prices is staggering. This is the worst reason on the list. Not because it is the most dramatic, but because it is the most financially damaging and the easiest to avoid. At $400 retail, the Royal Pop is a novelty, a fun, bold art object watch toy. You know what you're getting. The price reflects it. At $1,500 to $2,000 on the gray market, you are inside the territory of serious mechanical watches. Watches with fully serviceable movements. Watches with steel cases that can take a knock. Watches with secondary markets that actually hold value. For $2,000, you can buy a Tissot PRX Powermatic 80 with a true in-house caliber, a sapphire crystal, and a bracelet that rivals watches costing 3 times the price. For slightly less, a Hamilton khaki field mechanical, a watch with legitimate military heritage, a hand-wound movement you can actually service, and proportions that age perfectly. For around the same money, an Orient Star or a mid-tier Seiko Prospex with a movement that any watchmaker in the world can open, service, and keep running for another 30 years. Every single one of those watches does something the Royal Pop cannot. It stays relevant. It holds value. It can be repaired. It can be passed down. You're not choosing between a Royal Pop and nothing. You are choosing between a sealed plastic pocket watch at peak hype and a real mechanical timepiece that earns its price tag every single day you wear it. The Royal Pop is $400 of fun wrapped in $2,000 of impatience. Buy the watch, not the hype cycle. The one reason you should buy it, at retail, it supports real watchmaking. Here's the honest case for the Royal Pop, not the gray market version, the retail version. Audemars Piguet has stated publicly that 100% of their proceeds from this collaboration go towards preserving rare watchmaking crafts and funding the next generation of horological talent. The skills that make a real Royal Oak possible include hand finishing, anglage, guilloche, and movement assembly at the highest level, and they cost serious money to teach and sustain. This watch, at $400, is one way to contribute to keeping those skills alive. Beyond that, at retail, the Royal Pop is genuinely what it says it is. A bold, playful, art-driven pocket watch with AP design DNA and a fun story behind it. If you enjoy it as a conversation piece, a desk object, or a wearable pop art collab, and you accept that it is a Swatch with a limited lifespan, then $400 is a reasonable price for that experience. The rule is simple: retail or nothing. At $400, it is a fun way to support real watchmaking. At $2,000 on the gray market, you are funding someone else's profit margin and walking away with a non-serviceable pocket watch at the top of a hype curve. Wait for boutique availability, pay retail. Treat it like the art object it is and not like the investment it will never be. Like and subscribe for more.